Okay, so it's bright and sunny out already, early in the morning, and it's already hot here. Yesterday it was 100 and what? Felt like 105, 102, 103, I don't know. It's hot! We're in that time of the year, right? Well, I was walking this morning, and I was thinking about character. And I know that I'm not the only one that has dealt with character flaws, and that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about times in our lives where we are around someone or with someone, and they see a character in us that's not the character that we know we really are, but because of pain or struggles, places in us that are not healed completely or not healed at all, and maybe stepping into something prematurely, we end up having this character about us that doesn't represent who we know that we truly are in ourselves and in Christ. And so I came up against that by communicating, just off and on with, just with myself about my past, and then trying to find answers. It's a treasure hunt. It is. I call it a treasure hunt because I don't believe that negative things have to be negative things. I really believe that those negative places in our life, they feel negative at the moment, but eventually they can turn into our treasures, to our nuggets of hope and strength, and places that we can push forward from. And so those are treasures. We're trying to search through them. Some of them might be gold, and some of them might be silver, and some of them might be good jewels, but some of them might be things we just need to throw out that are rusty and old and have gotten corroded and gross. So, but there's still places in us that are us, and I think that for me, I really believe it in Christ and in who I am, is that every part of me is precious, and it just might not be the best thing to hold on to sometimes. And character flaws definitely are not. But we can change that character in us, and we can look at those flaws, and we can decide and make the decision and a conscious effort to bring about a better character. And character's huge, very huge in our lives. I think, I know for me, the person that taught me so much about character was my second husband. I wasn't married very long. I dated for 3 months, and then I married for 2 months. It was a very, very different, and it was an experience in my life. I never thought I would ever do anything like that. But after my 26-year marriage ended, I found there was a man that loved me and cared about me, and I thought I was ready, but my character was definitely just out of whack during that period of time when he met me. And sadly, he got in the crossfires of many character flaws that I had during the healing and the devastation of my marriage falling apart. And I'm sad for that, and I'm sorry for that, because I wished that certain people in my life, when they met me at certain times, could see the true character of who I really am. And so I was walking around going, how can we go back and show people? But I don't know. It's only if God allows us to have those moments in time where somebody can see that the true character of us was not what was being brought out in us during a time of extreme devastation. So, really we can't go back and make somebody like us or think that we're good, but we can still move forward every day from this moment on, knowing inside of ourselves and through our relationship with Christ that we can build a strong character of who we are, and we can continue to walk forward in that and not live in a devastating place. I mean, I was just now thinking, oh my gosh, those birds are awesome. Ducks. Anyway, when you find, if you think about a shipwreck and you find a chest full of treasures, like I said, they're not always going to be glittery and gold and pretty. Some of the stuff down in the bottom is going to be rusted and gross, but The funniest thing about what I keep sometimes in my home are the pieces that I've found at antique stores and garage sales that are all rusty locks and rusted pieces of whatever. I just think they're pretty. I see beauty in the rusty, old, worn out pieces because I see that that piece used to not look that way. And that's how I see character sometimes. We're going to get covered up in this life with a bunch of rust and we're going to get corroded sometimes. We're going to get tossed around and beat up, physically, I hope not. Some of us have struggled with that. And we've been through that, and that's extremely sad and difficult. But we're going to get just life. It's going to roll us around and hurt us, and we're going to come out with injuries. And we're not always going to look like that shining, beautiful piece of diamond or jewel that we find in that top of that treasure chest that's new and fresh. But it doesn't mean that underneath all of that is not a person that's full of beautiful character. So anyway, I just challenge you to work towards your character. That's an important place in our lives that people are looking at and that we should look at. And I believe that God looks at that in us. I read a verse today where it said, it talked about speaking the truth. And it talked specifically about lying. Lying is a character flaw. And if we can speak truth to one another in love and then it talked about having compassion and having grace towards one another. And I just love all that because, the fruits of the Spirit, those are character. That's our character. So anyway, I was just thinking a lot about character today, and I wanted to share that with you. And so I just would encourage you and challenge you to be a person that has good character. Work on your character flaws. Brush off the rust. Polish yourself up. And make sure that when you're presenting yourself in front of God, in front of others, that the character is one that is full of God's grace and compassion, and then the qualities of the fruit of the Spirit, gentleness, long-suffering. And if you get stuck and your character starts to look flawed and starts to act flawed, and you end up having moments and seasons in your life where you wished you could go back and that somebody that saw a bad character in you could see a good one, just remember that you can't always go back, and we can't always make it better. We can't make somebody see us and love us for what we wish they could have seen. But we can make a difference now because we all can push forward towards the future. So have a blessed day, and remember, character counts. Bye.